That's more like it, right? That's more like it. That is more like it. There you go. I gotta hear myself too as well. I gotta go back and forth on my phone. But it's a late stream, late night stream. The reason why it's a late night stream, matter of fact, I can show you guys right here. YouTube. I'm doing my Bulls channel. Of course, when the Chicago Bulls, when the Chicago Bulls have a basketball game, I work for a YouTube channel, Digest Media, and of course, we have the Chicago Bulls Digest. That's what I work for right now. I just covered the Chicago Bulls getting the win over the Utah Jazz and a thriller game. It was a whole lot of fun. It was a whole lot of fun. You can watch that too. I should start linking my stuff. I should start linking it in the description. But outside of that, we're not here to talk about the Chicago Bulls. As much as I'm sick of talking about the Chicago, I'm sick of talking about them now. After just talking about them for about an hour and some change. We got to get into AEW. Look, like I said, there's nothing right now at this point in time that is slowing us down for the time being in terms of just putting out content. And that's for both channels. That's for basketball. That's for wrestling. We're doing it all, brother. We doing it all. And so please, if you guys would like, hit that subscribe button. And if you guys of course, want to tune in to Circle of Debate as well. Circle of Debate always have some great content. Those boys never fail to entertain. And I just want to give a whole lot of love to them as well, just because, they give a whole lot of love to us. And it's a family. It's a familia there. If I can, you show my bilingualness, if that is a word there. Look, it's 11 o'clock. It's like y'all got to cut me some slack. But we got to talk here. We got to have a serious conversation with Darby Allin. Protect yourself, brother. Why do you hate yourself? Why do you hate your body? Not that's the biggest thing here. Why do you hate your body, brother? Like, I understand being one to cater to the fans, giving the fans what they want, but brother, you do not need to be putting your body on the line like this at all. I love Darby Allin, and I want to see Darby Allin wrestle for a really, 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 really long time. But the stuff you do, highly unnecessary. Highly unnecessary. We're talking going bareback onto glass. We're talking getting drowned into a fish tank. We're talking getting set on fire. It's just like there hasn't been. We're talking getting thrown down a flight of stairs repeatedly. Like, relax yourself, please. It's not that deep. It's just like we care for Darby Allin. We love Darby Allin. I want to see you wrestle for a really, 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 really long time. But William Regal posted what he posted a couple weeks ago for a reason. It's like he's doing this to warn you guys. Me and Devin saw up close Kyle Felcher land on his head. Me and Devin saw up close Jamie Hayter land on her head. Darby Allin, you're going bareback on some steel steps. The sound of it, let me say it like a man. The sound of it was just absolutely just gnarly, man. Like, and I'm not trying to sound like a bad baby about this, but Darby Allin took on Pac, and Pac just beat the brakes out of Darby Allin, and of course that's what was the whole story. Working on Darby Allin's back, getting at his back, and it was gross. It was just gross. And hearing Kevin Owens talk about what was the worst bump you ever took, and he said one of the worst bumps he ever took, at least in WWE, it was a cannon. It was like a senton. It was a senton off the apron and onto just the floor. And granted, it's matted. That stuff hurt, And Darby Allin ain't landing on mats. He's landing on steel. And brother, like I said, we want to see you wrestle for a really long time, please. We do not need to see you do all that, because like, and I'm not doing this to be funny. I'm not doing this to be funny at all, because like, y'all already know what comes next. And I ain't even trying to be that guy. Like, people talk about all what could go wrong in the ring here. And I'm not saying Darby Allin is gonna, I'm expect the worst from Darby Allin. No, that's actually the last thing I'm talking about. But let's not run the risk of that. It's like let's not run the risk of that. Darby Allin has been what's the saying? Floating too close to the sun lately. Brother, we just saw you. We just saw you in a hospital bed. We literally just saw you in a hospital bed. And now you're getting thrown into some steel steps, barebacked. You're getting thrown out of the ring, barebacked. You're getting your ass beat, barebacked. You know, it's just like it's getting out of control. Pause on that last part. But yeah, man, on the bright side, Darby Allin got the win. You know, it's like on the bright side of it all, Darby Allin got the win for sure. And that's one thing you got to that's one thing you got to really appreciate with the at least the pillars that we're seeing, the four pillars. What was it? Jungle Boy, Sammy Guevara, MJF, and Darby. Darby and MJF definitely showing themselves for sure. They're showing that like them being the pillar is alive and well, and that's never left. Sammy Guevara, you know, he's always in and out, and that's, you know, with injuries and of course with family situations as well. He's young and he has a family. I'm not going to necessarily shame him for that, especially when you're young and can get in the game whenever you want, whenever you can. Well, I'm going to shame Darby Allin for that, but while he's away, man, his, you know, that pillar that they were talking about, man, 2 out of the 4 is eaten. I would say Jungle Jack is eaten, but I don't really care for him. You know, it's just like I don't really care for him at all. So that was just my thought process of it all. So even after it all, I mean, let me stop. Even afterwards, Hangman Page took on, of course, the bounty hunter Brian Keith. I was like, man, I haven't seen Brian Keith in a minute. I haven't seen Brian Keith in a long while. And so even looking at Brian Keith getting into the action, of course, this was a match that Hangman Page had to win, you know, just for him to get back into the win column, of course. And now Swerve is coming into the picture. Now Swerve started with I in his, of course, his statements in terms of in his promo, but now it's turning into we, you know, when warning MJF about title challenges. Of course, everybody wants another title shot. It was Swerve Strickland. Wow, I'm going into UFC. So, Swerve Strickland. I thought I said Sean Strickland. That's why I was like, man, like I said, it's 11:10. You got to give me some time. You know, it's like Swerve Strickland, of course, Hangman Page, of course, are in the fray. And then you have Kenny Omega coming out, says he wants a piece of the title too. And Hangman Page, I mean, just a gentleman as he is, hey, you know, we're going for the same thing. Best of luck to you. You know, he just walks out the ring. Swerve just looks in his face. Hey, man, I ain't going to be nice like Buddy. You know, it's like there ain't going to be no let the best man win. Nah, there is no I am the best man. You know, he ain't say all that, but I'm just hyping up Swerve. I'm just, you know, it's like I just had to put some words in Swerve's mouth if I'm just be honest with you.
Boing boing.
You know, I just had to do that real fast. But honestly, backstage, Swerve talked about Jet Speed and how great they are. Then Hangman Page says he would like to team up with them to challenge the Ops for the World Trios Championships on Collision. So that's one thing to look after as well. You have Brody King versus Jonathan Cruz. Jonathan Cruz just got the brace beat off of him. Let's be honest. Jonathan Cruz just got the absolute piss beat out of him. And it was sad. It was absolutely sad to see. A huge shout out to Brody. I don't even think Brody King took off his jacket. Disrespectful asshole. You know, it's just like Brody King just beat the brakes off this dude with his jacket on. Talk about disrespect. Ew. You make me sick. You make me sick. Of course, we got the Cosmic Babes of Wrath versus the Triangle of Madness. Love me some Sky Blue. I think Sky Blue does some great work. Julia Hart, I'm not a fan just yet. I'm a fan of the gimmick, not a fan of the wrestler, but that's just my take. You know, it's just like you can hate it if you want to. I love me some Thekla. You know, Thekla, you know, I love me some Thekla. You know, Thekla, I got zero problem with, but everybody else, of course, Cosmic Babes of Wrath. I think it's a really solid trio. Of course, Harley Cameron. You got Willow Nightingale, TBS champion, of course, women's tag team champions as well. Then you have the AEW champion and Chris Statlander. And this was a really cool match, a decent amount of near falls, honestly. And I had fun. I really had fun watching this match. And honestly, I expected Chris Statlander, Willow Nightingale, and Harley to win and to come out the winners in this. But Thekla, Julia Hart, and Sky Blue came out and won. And I was so I'm not gonna necessarily say floored. I won't necessarily say this was a huge shock to me, like I just kind of passed out type deal. But the toxic spider was, of course, too much for both Willow and Stat. Of course, setting the stage for her to pin the cosmic killer. So, and of course, this is coming from Bleacher Report as well. As I like to go back and forth in terms of giving you the review and just reading off my thoughts as well. Just give you a quick recap of what's going on. So Thekla is pretty much going to be Statlander, at least hopefully, is going to be Statlander's next challenger for the AEW World Championship in what could be a really, really tough match, but another one that I'm expecting Chris Statlander to win. No doubt about it at all. You know, this brings us to the AEW Men's World Championship match between MJF and Bandido. And man, these guys can get down. These guys can get down. And a huge shout out to MJF because MJF is just showing that he can do it all. Like he can, and I'm not trying to glaze. Definitely the last thing I'm trying to do is glaze here for MJF. But when you're looking at it, like in terms of high flying, which he can do, in terms of the athletic moves, which he can do, in terms of devastating finishes, which he can do, in terms of just being a dirty asshole heel, which he is, what can't this man do?
Shaboing boing.
You know, like, well, what can't this man do? Honestly, like that's my whole thought process of it all. And so, and of course with Bandido, just a super athletic freak of nature. I just think his finish is weird. I just think that you have to pretty much toot your ass up to get, to take a finisher from Bandido, and MJF has to do it like 3 times in this match. And MJF actually ate the finisher at a point. But it took a minute for Bandido to pin MJF. And like I said, this was just such a fun match. MJF had a really, really solid outing here so far. And it's really, and right now, I think is in the running to have a really good run with his AEW title. Because even after the match, after he pinned Bandido, he came out and said, well, he came out with the microphone and said, hey, man, like, you're going to be a champion one day. He putting over Bandido. You're going to be champion one day, which is why I have to do this. And then just beat his ass. It's just like, and then just completely beat the dog shit out of him. Pretty cool. Heel move by MJF. Then, of course, trying to take off the mask, pretty much trying to recreate what he did with Mystico. And look, let me tell you something. When he did that to Mystico, that was just absolute. That was unreal. Like that, I've never seen something so disrespectful like that in years. Like we could go back to Seth Rollins, Matt Riddle. Your wife doesn't want your bitch ass no more. We can go all the way back to hell. We can go all the way back to Jey Uso. Just don't get all rated R like your boy Xavier Woods. Like we can go all the way back to the most disrespectful things that has been said or done in wrestling. But MJF ripping that mask off of Mystico and then wearing it and then flipping off the fans as he's wearing it. I was like, somebody's gonna hawk him down. I was like, so somebody's gonna hawk this man down, right? Not even when the show is over. They're probably gonna attack him while he's in the ring. Like, I was terrified. I was absolutely terrified for MJF at that point in time. Like, it got to a point where I was like, okay, this has been going on for far too long because I believe he was still with the Hurt Syndicate as well. I was so just traumatized just looking at this whole thing. I don't think you're ever gonna see something that iconic, in that situation. And I'm glad they did something like that with MJF. I was just like, this is just so unreal. So to come back, into what was taking place, the only reason why I got off on that tangent. He tries to do the same thing with Bandido. He's like, hey man, I'm gonna rip it off. You guys better get ready. I'm gonna rip off his mask. And before he gets a chance to do it, Brody King runs out there, makes the save, kind of already lets you know who's going to be in the running for the AEW championship at some point in time, hopefully. Now that Bandido has come out, and it's kind of already showing that, hey, Bandido already has a nice backing behind him. The athleticism on this man. He's built for success. And a rivalry, a feud between him and MJF, I think it could feed families. I definitely think it could feed families. I mean, he's a solid promo. He's a guy that can wrestle. He can run I gotta say this. I won't necessarily say he's a wrestling phenomenon. I won't go that far, but he's a big guy. He's uber fast, uber athletic. He's gonna give you an excellent match regardless of who he's in the ring with. So I love me some Brody King. If we get a Brody King MJF program, I'm all for it. Sign me up, brother. Sign me up 100%. That's take me through there, as the kids say. Take me through there, as the kids say. I'm 100% ready to see an MJF Brody King rivalry, but this could be an extension of MJF and Bandido as well. However, look, I already saw MJF get the ring already, but I really, and especially since Bandido slept, you fell asleep. You fell asleep. Of course, you flipped MJF off before you dozed off and went into your slumber, but MJF still, you still fell asleep. I'm sorry, and so Brody King ain't gonna go to sleep. It's like Brody King is not gonna go to sleep. On MJF. Give me that feud, Tony Khan, please. And that was AEW Dynamite. That was Maximum Carnage. And maybe this was a quick episode in terms of me just going in for 17 to 19 minutes because I just got done with the Bulls video. And this isn't gonna happen it was going to happen for SmackDown, Raw, depending on when the Chicago Bulls have games and when games I'm assigned to. But it won't be this late 90% of the time, and not most of the time as well. We're going to full flesh it all out as well and have a great time as well going through it. Huge shout out to Prince. Yo, what's good, fam? Man, I'm just clocking out. I was just clocking out while I'm doing this thing, of course, while during the road to WrestleMania, because, of course, content has been scarce. Me and Devin, of course, been on our busybody fields. We're old heads. We're 27, man. We're 27. Hey, if I could tell y'all a secret, in a month and a half, Devin's gonna be 28. I might have to buy that man a walker. But me and Devin 27, we're living our 27-year-old lives, trying to get it together. And so, in saying that, content was scarce. So my resolution, of course, and at least another way to guide ourselves into the content realm again was to not only do reviews again, which is the heel turn 30. We're gonna review shows 30 minutes or less. And honestly, look at that 20. You shout out to Prince 27. Damn, you old. I'm telling you, man, it hurts. It hurts every day. It hurts every day. Every morning I break my bones. It's like that was that SpongeBob meme. Like every morning I break my arms. But even on the flip side of that, like we're just getting our lives together and we're living our best lives. We talked about it before. I'm like, we got multiple jobs on top of speaking of the multiple jobs. Just so you guys can see here, this was what I did beforehand. This is the Chicago Bulls channel. Next. Let's go to public. It is officially public. You could go watch the Chicago Bulls video, of course. On Bulls Digest. Chicago Bulls got the win against the Utah Jazz. And of course, you can look that up on Bulls Digest. Bulls Digest. That's where I pretty much review Chicago Bulls news, Chicago Bulls results. And there's 3 of us. So, of course, I'm not going to be in every video. I'll probably be in 1 in every 3 or 1 in every 2 videos on that channel. So follow us. We got a great channel. It's a whole lot of fun. And a huge shout out to Prince. I'm 31. My knees hurt in the morning. Look, I'm telling you, I was just talking to my boss. My boss just turned 31 and she was just like, oh man, like 31 is fine, but it's just that 30 that's knocking. It's that 30 that's knocking. Somebody actually told me that 25 feels like 21. And I agree, because when I was 25, I definitely felt like I was, on the other side of 21. Once I turned 26, I'm like, all right, do I need my inhaler? Do I need my oxygen tank already? Is it about that time? So on the flip side, me and Devin are gonna do the heel turn 30. We're gonna do 30-minute reviews. We're not gonna do that for the pay-per-views. Pay-per-views, we're gonna have a full-on show. We're gonna have a full-on show for the pay-per-views. But for Raw, Dynamite, and SmackDown, sometimes NXT, I might be on Circle of Debate. I might just ask Circle of Debate if I could join on Tuesdays. But that's looking like the goal here. Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, and then weekends. especially when both of us are going to be more open as well. That's when the content is going to start kicking off. But Road to WrestleMania, that's my favorite time of the year. It's like holiday season for me, so I can't not make some content and not tell you guys how I feel. Start stretching, bro. Ooh. I mean, you not wrong. I should start stretching. That's the appropriate thing to do. I'm just lazy. I just like to get out of bed, and I work with kids. Not like the CM Punk work with kids. Like I genuinely work with kids. So I'm running around and I'm throwing. I'm literally throwing these kids. I wish I could explain to you guys what I do, but I work with kids. We have a whole lot of fun. It's a little fun house, a little play. Little place in it. We have a nice little gym, and in this gym we have a crash pad. And man, these kids love the crash pad. All these kids want to do is get thrown on the crash pad. And since I'm one of 3 guys out of like 30 people, I gotta be the one to throw these kids. So as soon as the kids see me throw, I'm like, woof, woof, boo, rock bottom. I'm here hitting these kids with wrestling. I wish I was lying to you guys. What I do for a living, of course I teach. I teach the kids, but on the flip side, I'm hitting kids with wrestling moves, and then I go home and talk about wrestling. Maybe even the Chicago Bulls. It's like, and then of course I have the radio station as well. The only reason why I'm doing this is because there's stuff going on at the radio station, and I can talk about it, but I don't want to talk about it. This is a lot, but which is why I have some free time. It's like, which is why I have some free time. But I still work at the radio station. Actually, be there tomorrow, which is why we don't stream on Thursdays. But see, we're gonna get Twitch live too. See, we're gonna get Twitch up and running. Just finished the NFL stream, not today, but I finished my NFL player. Of course, got a couple rings to his arsenal. I just don't know what to play next. Justin recommended 2K, but I'm solid at 2K. But there was a time where I used to be a dog. There was a time where I used to just play on Hall of Fame and just mop people, bro. Now I'm over here just struggling on All-Star. Oh no, I'm a dog at All-Star. I'm struggling on Superstar. Superstar, I can't. No, I can't touch anybody on Superstar. Pause. It's like I'll be struggling. I'll be absolutely struggling. So I'm gonna figure out what game to play. I'm gonna figure out what game to play as well. I'm gonna hop on Twitch, not tonight. I already streamed twice. If you want to see me, you can see me on 2 different channels right now. NFL 2K5. I should go back and do some retro games. Actually, I'm gonna download Fight Night. You guys, have you ever played Fight Night? Have you guys ever played Fight Night? Man, growing up, Fight Night was the game, man. Because I forgot who I used to play as, but they used to have this haymaker punch where they would just boo. It was just a mean straight to the face, and it was just that was my go-to. And then I try to double hit you. As soon as you get knocked out, I'm trying to make sure. I'm just trying to make sure I get an extra hit in. And I do that. Of course, I do that on UFC. You guys see me play UFC. Of course, the backflip compilation. I've also gotten my ass beat on UFC too. You've seen the good and bad on UFC. You've seen the good and bad on Madden as well. I could go back to college football, but since college football is already kind of wrapping up, I think I'll leave it as is. I suck at MLB The Show, but I might do that as well. So I'm getting out of here. I gotta get out of here. I gotta get it. What's your Twitch channel? Oh man, my Twitch channel. It's a lame name. I ain't gonna lie to you. It is a lame name. It's called the Izzy Goat. The Izzy Goat. Let me see if I can. Can I do that? Can I do that? Did I do that? Yeah, I did that. The Izzy Goat. It's the Izzy Goat on Twitch. You guys can follow that as well. And if you do, definitely appreciate you. If you guys want to be, there was actually some people that hopped on. They was like, can we be a moderator? I'm like, I don't even know what the hell that is. Sure. I was like, if you want to, I don't care. I'm like, and they said that, and I haven't even heard from them since. I haven't talked to them since. And they was like, you need a Discord. You need this. You need music behind you. You need it. I'm like, I don't know y'all, so I don't trust y'all enough. But if any of you guys know anything about the moderating film scene, then definitely want to help out with that in terms of, not help out, but in terms of knowing what to do and giving advice, I definitely would appreciate that for sure. Definitely. But I do got to get out of here. It's 11:30. I actually got to get to work at 7 o'clock tomorrow, which isn't early. Like, I used to go to work at 4. Like, it's not nothing crazy. But I got to go to work at 7. So I'm definitely going to knock out because I still got to wake up early and do some editing too as well. So got to edit some of the clips too. They've been doing pretty well on TikTok. TikTok has been the place to post so far. If you guys haven't if you guys missed the clips there, even if you missed the streams, you got the Maxine Dupree clip that we've seen. You know, I definitely think that Natalya should be over Maxine Dupree in terms of getting the push that Maxine Dupree is getting right now. I was gonna talk about Damian Priest. Just talk about the age gap and just the age and your prime and wrestling and so on and so forth. Some stuff we talked about before. All right, I'm done rambling. I gotta get the hell up out of here. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. It definitely means a whole lot. Even though I don't care if I'm talking to one person, two people, no people. I'm talking to myself. I just love doing this, and it warms my heart. It definitely feels like a whole lot better just doing this. And of course, just seeing Prince's name pop up as well just makes it 10 times better. Love your brother. And like I said, you can hop on whenever too as well. But I would more so preferably do it when Devin's here too, because I know Devin would love to meet you, and I'd be so shitty. You know, I'd be such a L man if I got you on here and you didn't meet Devin either. I feel like that'd be bogus. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I'll see you guys next time.